subtitles.
Did it say? Oh shit, that's weird. Bam, we're live. It did show Spanish subtitles. Yeah, why is that? Fuck it, let's do it. Let's roll.
That's no bueno.
He is a part of the indigenous people here, who were colonized by the Europeans, and unfortunately have had to take the name Mexican as their new colonized name, and they've owned it. It's kind of weird, but that's what happens when you get colonized. Oh, shit.
It's like us with fucking dogs. It's just something you just own. You just do it.
Yeah. The AKC. I don't know if the AKC is American Kennel Club accepted pit bull as a purebred. I don't think it has.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, isn't that fascinating? It's fascinating.
But a border collie is, even though they're two different breeds mixed together as well.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on 1 second. Hey, I'm doing a podcast. Can I call you back? Yeah, just a quick one.
That's what she said.
Booyah, Kasha, welcome to what has become one of the most famous, interesting, exciting, infamous, notorious stops on the internet. The review of the Dave Castro Week in Review. With the regulars call me WIR. Mr. Spin from the Barbell Spin, the place where you go to get your fastest and most reliable news about CrossFit on the internet. He is in the blue, and it says Brian Spin for those of you who are literate. Then down below is Pedro.
Hola.
We renamed him. Can you imagine you have friends and they rename you? Fucking weird.
The weirdest thing now is when someone says my actual name, I almost don't respond to it.
Yeah. Mr. White.
Yeah.
Like the guy who is now running for office, as CNN says, like the guy who's running for office against Joe Biden, Brandon Phillips, just another entitled white man. But you should go easy on Irish people. They're
we've had it rough.
They've had it rough, yeah. They have different breeding habits than the rest of us. And then also, Caleb Beaver, and he is actually in Ireland. He's over there. He's holding down the fort till the Israelis come and kick him out of his country. And then Caleb Beaver live from the Chateau Con.
Indeed.
Not to be confused with the Vatican, which is now the official, Mexicans are now the official poster children for colonized people. So full circle. What we're going to do today is we're going to watch the Dave Castro Week in Review, and we're going to give you the deepest insights from anywhere in the community regarding this fine piece of work. Oh, what I am going to do, someone said it didn't work last week. I don't believe them. And what we're going to do is we're going to edit all of our mics down so that you can turn your mics louder. Can you guys edit your, or I'm going to, I already lower, I'm going to lower Pedro's to like 30. I'm going to lower Pedro's to 30. You want to try, and you want to try lowering Mr. Spins and yours to 32?
Yep.
And if you guys have issues with the volumes, just let us know in the comments. But we're lowering our mics so that you can turn your TV louder to hear Dave, because we can't raise Dave's mic. You get it? You get how that works?
So do we have to shout then when we're talking?
No. They just have to turn their TV louder. Okay. Ready? And we're going to watch this at 1.25 time. I'm altering his voice. Okay. Action.
Monday, October 30th, 2023. Let's dive into comments. At W. Thibault. Dave, can you explain how CrossFit hiring Jay DeCoons is consistent with the affiliate culture? He's a man who called CrossFit affiliates unsafe places on industry panels. This feels like a betrayal. I'm going to talk about Jay first.
For those of you who don't know, Jay DeCoons is the new affiliate director. Originally, I think maybe Dave. I think the original affiliate director was maybe Greg and Lauren, and then it was Dave and Nicole, and then it was Lisa Lugo, and then it was Kathy Glassman, and then there's been like fucking 4 or 5. I think that's the history of it since 2000, for those who don't know.
In my experience with him. So I met Jay several months ago when we were doing the interview process to hire someone for this role.
Then it was Gary Gaines. Also, sorry, after Kathy Glassman, it was Gary Gaines. And then I want to say maybe it was Austin Malleolo. Maybe there was a guy even before Gary Gaines. Anyway, it's a tough position. For those of you who don't know, one of the things about CrossFit is that it is also a small business miracle. It's the fastest growing brick and mortar, for lack of a better word, chain in the history of the planet. It grew from 300 to 15,000 small mom and pop gyms with a $4 billion, $5 billion, $8 billion ecosystem around the world in less than 10 years. And so the position of being at the affiliate director is probably arguably the most important position you could have in the fucking company. People really, really are relying on you.
He came across as a really genuine and great guy. And I was really impressed with his perspective and with his experience at that time with CrossFit. I had not seen this video, but he was someone who really had been involved with CrossFit at this point and had done it at an affiliate and saw how transformative it can be in his own life, but more importantly, in other people's lives too. Fast forward a few months later, he ended up accepting the job. I met him at the all hands.
Okay, so what Dave is saying is that either I didn't catch the beginning. Either he met him in like the interview process, or he was introduced to the executive team. He really liked them, but he still hadn't seen the video. So what Dave is saying is he actually has seen the video. For those of you who haven't seen the video, it's on the internet. He was on a panel at DeCoons was on a panel at South by Southwest in 2018, where he said some things that you would not want the affiliate director to say if you were one of these gym owners who's basically saying CrossFit isn't safe. Any comments so far, you guys? So Dave actually sounds like Dave was part of the interview process.
No.
That we had here.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. And then now Dave's going to go on to say that he met him now in Aromas. Remember they had an all hands meeting a couple weeks ago, and he's going to talk about meeting him in Aromas there.
In Santa Cruz about a month ago, and spent some time with him there, had really good interaction with him. And since then have been on a number of calls with him, had one-on-ones with him, spent a lot of time with him, and genuinely impressed with and enjoy having him on the team as a contributor and as someone who's leading the affiliate team.
I liked what I knew about him before he was hired, and now I've worked with him and I like him. Is that what you guys are hearing?
Yeah.
So basically, he has not changed. He's just thinks that
Spin, is that
like now he works.
Yeah, Spin, is that what you've heard so far?
Yeah, no, I mean, he liked what he heard in the interview, and all the times he's talked to him since, it seems like he meshes well with them on what conversations. I don't know what they, I'm sure it's talking about how they want to kind of approach, him taking over, but it sounds like he likes him.
Yeah, before and after. Okay, Spin, this is, I don't know if you smoked some fentanyl before the show, but let's try to make this faster than the Rogue Duel, please. Thank you. Did I get a laugh out of him? I can't even tell.
I heard a giggle.
Okay, good. All right.
He has a wide variety of life
My internet
experiences.
is slow, I think.
Ah, yes. Okay,
Well,
good.
yes,
So
it is.
yes. Well, Rogue, what was your excuse for the duel? No, sorry, Katie. Sorry. Okay. So he just said something important. How do I go back 5 seconds?
Arrow keys, left and right.
Oh, I'm only going back seconds at a time. Okay, I think he just said he has a lot of life experiences. That's interesting.
Experiences outside of CrossFit in the business world and in the fitness world, away from this ecosystem. And now,
So he's saying he has a lot of life experiences. I'm just gonna call bullshit on that. Like in this ecosystem, out of this ecosystem, I don't think he has. But maybe he has. I just don't think he has. I'm not buying it.
Maybe he just interviewed really well.
Well, he did grow a bar method.
Okay. Did Spin say one sentence? He said he did grow the bar method.
Yeah, that's bankrupt now, isn't it?
I grew probably like $400,000 or $500,000 in weed one year.
Yeah, I didn't see. No, I mean, I think he grew, which it is bar, so he was able to do that successfully. He should be able to do
another year
CrossFit
I grew
and
like
help grow
another
that.
year I grew like probably $80,000 worth of weed, and I didn't even sell it. I just like bagged it up and just like I didn't even sell it. I don't even smoke it. I don't know if Spin can contribute to this show. He looks the most mature out of all of us, but Spin, we can't hear you. You're moving funny. Can you do something about your internet? Can you? How come it never does that on your show? Are you trying to sabotage my show?
I'm trying. I'm
I love how he
100%.
said, I'm trying, when you said, are you trying to sabotage my show?
Oh, that's funny. The one thing he did here. You know, we heard that part, right, Spin? Okay. Here we go. Let's keep going.
Now,
That's
in the
right.
past few years, he has a lot of experiences within CrossFit, specifically his own journey in doing it. I think
He has his, okay. I don't think Dave said anything in the last 20 seconds. He has a lot of life experiences and he's got a CrossFit journey experience. Okay. All right. So do we.
Jay is the right guy for this job and the right guy for this role. I'm really excited about working with him, and I believe he can do a tremendous amount to drive us forward and to help the affiliate community thrive and the global community of CrossFit thrive in that regards too. What he said.
He said he's the right guy for the job that can help the affiliate community thrive. Dave is vouching for him.
Listen, I always said he was a great guy. This DeCoons.
Pedro loves them. You did. Wow. Okay, so Dave's vouching for him. Thoughts, Mr. Spin? Why is Dave using I think Dave has a lot of integrity. I mean, with me, he has integrity, trust, honesty. I always fucking got Dave's back. Even when he's fucking ran me over with the bulldozer, I fucking respect the dude to fucking the end of the world. And now Dave's spending some of his reputational equity to get this guy, saying he's got this guy's back. This guy's the right guy for the job. Thoughts on that? Mr. Spin, you want to go first and see if you can even talk? If you're allowed, if the internet gods will let you.
I feel like he has to say this, right? Like, he can't come out and say that he doesn't think he's the right person for the job. I think we talked about it, or you mentioned it.
He could say
in the week in
nothing.
review. Like,
He could
he
say
says a whole
nothing
lot of
though.
things that. Yeah, but he does a good job of answering most of the questions on here. Like, he doesn't filter them and take the easy questions. And so he's taken this question, he's answering it in a way that is politically correct, and that he's not going to knock the guy publicly. And we'll see if he's right or not. Unfortunately, CrossFit's been wrong in a lot of the hires they've had recently.
Pedro, what do you think about Dave spending some of his? Would you agree I characterized Dave right? Like, he has a lot of equity with the CrossFit audience, whether you like him or not. People trust him, and he's spending some of that here.
He's spending a lot of it because he's saying he was on the interview panel. He's saying he liked him during the interview. He's saying he liked him afterwards. He's saying he's the right guy for the job. He's saying, I vouch for him. I give him a chance. You guys should give him a chance. All that kind of stuff. And it's like, Dave has a lot of respect and he holds a lot of weight and a lot of kudos with a lot of different people, like basically everybody. So it's like, it's damaging for him if this goes badly because he's so firmly stood behind it. Like, obviously, if he's going to talk about it, like Spin saying, he can't come out and say, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe we fucked up. Maybe we did the right thing. Who knows? Like, if he's going to talk about it, he has to talk about it like this. Or he
4
just,
years ago.
I don't know. It'd be very questionable if he didn't back it up.
Like, Caleb, do you have any thoughts on this? What do you think about him spending his equity? I mean, it's a bold move. You don't see. I mean, I'm trying to think if I've ever seen Dave do this.
That's what I was wondering too. Has he ever publicly come out about somebody that they've hired and said, "Hey, I'm going to vouch for this guy," which also leads me to believe that maybe Dave he's investing his own time in developing him, maybe because like, hey, I'm gonna vouch for this guy and I'm gonna make sure that he's the right person for the job. Like, I mean, obviously he doesn't have the CrossFit experience, so maybe Dave's taking his own time out of his own schedule to give him the tools or give him what he needs to be a successful affiliate director.
This is a hot take here, and I don't use that term very often. Heidi Kroom, Don Fall says, quote, Dave, you need to support and help a dude, help a brother out, help a player out. That would be interesting. I go ahead.
I feel like if that was like, maybe I'm wrong about your relationship with him, but I feel like if that was the case, he probably would have told you to shut up by now. If that was what if he was being told, hey, we all need to like cut this out, like, and stamp it out, I feel like he would have said, hey, can you lay off a bit?
Who?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Who?
That Dave would have said it. If Dave was told implicitly by
that he
Dom,
would have said it to me, would you lay
that
off?
he would have said to you by now, hey, can you just like tone it back a bit?
Fair. Yeah, and he might say that to me. Yeah. He has not said that to me. For the record, he has not said to me, "Hey, don't ask Pound DeCoon." Martin Graham, TDC sadly BS through this entire explanation. Very uncharacteristic of him. But when you got to do it, you got to do it. Mainly because he's got his skin in it. Classic passiveness. Move on. Oh, really? Is that what he's? You mean just because? I don't know. I'm not okay. Let's keep going. I don't feel. Hey, well, I don't know how much he rehearsed it. I guess I'm naive, but I'm thinking he just opens these up and reads these. But let's keep going. Oh shit! Look at this, Cave Dastro. Dave must have updated to new firmware. Ay. Okay, here we go.
Community thrive and the global community of CrossFit thrive in that regard too. What he said several years ago, I wish he didn't say that, but at the time, that was his perspective and that was his experience. Since then, he's had a change of heart and a change of perspective on CrossFit and the methodology and the affiliates and what happens in there. And I don't mean even since getting the job, but I just mean after that. And it's totally understandable and totally okay for people to think one thing at one point and then change their mind years later through their own experiences, through growing and through trying something out and through just this self-realization of being wrong. And he went through that. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay for us to give him a chance. And that's what we should do. That's all I'm going to ask of anyone who's listening to me, is just give him a chance and judge him off of what he does going forward.
Okay. Heidi says, Dave is, what do you say? She said something like, this whole explanation is bullshit. How do you think so? Now, let me give you my perspective. If this explanation is PR bullshit, really? Here's the thing where he kind of got me. We all don't. I'm not justifying him being. I'm not justifying him being hired as affiliate director. I wasn't part of the interview process. Anything I've seen so far, he wouldn't be fucking hired in a million years. I could name 20 people better than him. I guarantee that. But how many of us? I bet you, if you wouldn't let anyone do CrossFit who first thought it was stupid, our community would be half its size.
Isn't this like the CrossFit version of canceling someone who did blackface?
But you don't have to.
Yeah. I don't want to cancel him because he said he didn't like it at one point. That's just kind of one of the many elements that's not sitting well. And Dave says he wishes he wouldn't have said it too. But fuck.
Which also makes you believe that there was a conversation, and I'd imagine being a fly on the wall for that conversation. Dave sitting you down and like playing the clip back for you, like in the office. You imagine DeCoons be like, "Oh fuck, I knew this was coming." Like a bead of sweat down his back.
He probably doesn't even remember. He probably doesn't
say like, "Well, what did you mean by that? What was your intent when you said that?" And then just like sitting back and letting him talk for like 10 minutes.
No, they didn't know. They didn't vet him. They didn't vet him right. They didn't even know.
No, but they definitely, like, based off that, they definitely had a conversation after, like, say, last week or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They get to that, don't they? They talk about that. I think you're right, Sevan. They didn't know who they were hiring. Like, if you're going to hire somebody at that level, you go back and research what they have on the internet. And it's very easy. You type his name in and it comes up as the #1 search result. Right? And so you watch that, see what he has to say, and then you either know if you're going to hire him that you have to approach this right away and not let somebody else find it, or you don't hire him in the first place in that level of a role, right? Like you have to understand who you're hiring and why. And they were, I think, completely blindsided by this when it came out.
I 100% agree with you. If I'm an affiliate, what I want from an affiliate director is someone who's just fucking advocating 24 hours a day for more media. And I will say this also, their media team hasn't done shit in the last year, 2 years. And I don't even know how they have one. If I was Don, I would just save every cent I have and just fire fucking everyone, maybe keep one person. who just pushes the button on the workouts and post to social media every day. What a joke. And so I am concerned if they don't see the problem with whatever's running their media department or what they call a marketing officer. What's this guy going to do? This affiliate director?
Did you not see the video about the pumpkin?
Dude. Google is the largest, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. You better be fucking posting to it if you're trying to run a business every single fucking day. And it's a popularity search engine. It's a popularity search engine. Okay, let's go on. I don't call bullshit on this. I just don't think it's a good explanation for an excuse for hiring the wrong affiliate director. I think he's like conflating issues here. But once again, in God we trust, and Dave we trust.
Watch the work and the contribution he makes to CrossFit HQ, the affiliates, and the community at large.
Okay, I will wait and see his contribution. I agree, but in the meantime, okay, cool. Can we get rid of whatever's going on the media team? We've been waiting for their contribution for a while.
Going forward, let's set aside what he said then. And understand that he's in a different place in his life and a different person with a different perspective. And that's okay. If you just want to listen to what he said in 18 and just hold him accountable for that and just think that that's how he thinks now and punish him for that, which I've seen some suggest, then we're essentially engaging in the ugliest nature of cancel culture, in the ugliest forms of cancel culture. And so personally, I refuse to do that. I think what he said was wrong. I think what he said, I'm not even going to say was irresponsible, because when he said it, he believed it, and that's okay. What he said was of that time in his life. I can tell you 100% where he is at now in his life is not there. And that is how I am going to work with him, and that is how I respect him for who he is now and not what he said then. And that's all I can ask of you guys to do too, if you want my advice or if you want my perspective on that.
Thoughts? He's pivoted this whole thing hinging on his credibility as the affiliate director on this video. And if we hold it against him from 5 years ago, we're part of cancel culture. Thoughts, Pedro?
Yeah, I mean, it's a clever way to spin it.
It is. Well done.
You know, like anyone, most of the people who would be most annoyed at his hiring are the same people that were most annoyed at what happened with Greg. So like, it's like, well, if you do this, then you're okay with what happened. You know what I mean? Like, you can't complain about Greg being cancelled if you're going to do the same thing with someone who said something and it's, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's clever.
Greg said Floyd 19, which basically meant don't use the same logic you did to fight COVID with the logic you used to use racism. And 500 affiliates got pissed. Now they hired a dude to run their affiliates who said affiliates are fucked up and dangerous to process.
With or without a coach.
And the affiliates aren't making an uproar. I'm out. Oh my God. We fucking are surrounded by dipshits. Mr. Spin, go ahead.
I mean, you look at Mike's comment there that DeCoons is a venture capital boy. I mean, you look at DeCoons on Instagram. He and Rosa are followers of each other, and DeCoons never is on Instagram. So he knows.
Yeah, that is a trip, right? Okay.
And
so you think Rosa's still pulling the strings? I think the Lone Ranger podcast was right. Wow.
I think Rosa said, "Hey, I got this guy who would be great. He ran the bar method. He knows how to grow a business and whatever. I think you guys should talk to him." When that happens from a board member, you don't say no.
Even if it's that board member? Like, is it irrelevant? Like, do you not like? Would you not just
it doesn't matter if it's that board member. He's still a board member.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ortega, name 20 people. I'll give you 5. Myself, but they probably couldn't afford me. Daniel Chafee.
That's the most logic. That the fact that he's overlooked and he's leaving, right? Like that is fucking nuts.
He is leaving.
That I heard he's leaving. He's like the international manager, and he's leaving that role.
I've heard rumblings too. Bring Gary Gaines back. The guy that Rosa called the Black American. Bring that guy back. Leave Malleolo in there until you find someone who's capable. Or hire from within. someone who's already on the affiliate team. What they've done is it's clear that someone thinks that it's important that you go to Harvard from who's running CrossFit, and they're fucking idiots. Whoever's doing it is a retard. There's nothing that beats experience, and I'm guessing this guy doesn't have experience. Heidi Kroom, just give him a chance. Why wouldn't an affiliate owner with a shit ton of experience be promoted to that role? Why bring an outside source who has no clue about affiliates?
Well, yeah, the
Great
thing there
question.
is, would they want it? Is the thing. Like, I remember when Ollie Mansfield was a UK country manager, and I asked Carl Stedman at the time, like, why are you not doing it? Like, would you not? And he's like, oh, Jesus, I don't want that. Like, people complaining to you all the time. No, I can't handle that. Then Ollie took over Europe when Daniel Shafee took over International, and Carl stepped into the UK thing. And I was like, what changed? And he was like, well, I was needed. He's like, I still didn't particularly want to do it, but someone had to do it. So, like, if you have that on a global scale, how many people would have the drive to want to do it? Like, I can think of 5 or 6 people that would be unbelievable at it, but it's like, would they actually want to take on that? It's a bit of a poison chalice at the minute. So would they want to take it on now, or would they want to take it on after this DeCoons guy?
Maybe they're only hiring people they think they can control, and that's why. It's kind of like the DEI team was that PFAA thing that Fikowski's a part of, and the DEI council, those types of things. Those are just fake groups that are just used to appease people. So it doesn't matter who you put in there. They don't actually have any power, and they can't do anything. So you let those be the really hardcore activist types. But maybe you can't let someone who's a free thinker. Daniel Shavey's a pretty free thinker.
Or someone like Rob Lawson, like, so much experience with CrossFit Aberdeen. Like,
how about Dale King? How about Craig? How about Craig Howard?
Craig Howard, yeah.
How about Matt
Greg
Schindler?
Howard? Craig's in the area too.
Yeah,
like, he's right there.
Sevi, you're not allowed back. You have to stick with us, dude. Don't worry. I'm going to take over from my little seat here. The journey has begun. I'm not going fucking anywhere. I can't wait till all you guys are like, holy shit, he did it. You'll see. Okay, here we go.
I look at my own journey, and let me say this too: if people were to be critical of CrossFit, and then we were not to let them into CrossFit or even to work for CrossFit, we wouldn't have anybody around. Even before my journey before I started doing CrossFit, I was incredibly critical of it. I thought it looked ridiculous. I thought it looked stupid. I thought it was dangerous. Then obviously, as I self-educated and got involved, I had a change of heart. Even more recently, I'll even take it to 2018, 2019, when Greg was really big on keto and fasting and bringing along a lot of the experts from those realms, and really big on pushing that within the CrossFit community. I was working for Greg, running the games and running training, one of his senior generals, lieutenants, whatever you want to call it. And internally, I never said anything publicly, but internally, I was totally revolting against it. I thought keto was stupid. I thought fasting was dumb. I wanted nothing to do with it. It might have had just because of how much Greg was kind of bringing it in. And I don't want to say forcing on us, but just...
this is kind of where I'm at. I love everything Dave's saying, but I'm where asymmetric ears is. Geez, Dave, we're talking about a key role here, not a new member. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? He's also tripling down here. Like, so he's using his own experience to further stand behind him. Like,
yeah, he's really getting by DeCoons. And Dave's a loyal guy too, by the way.
This is like, we're going to be about halfway through the week in review, and all he's talked about is like, I vouch for this guy, basically, in multiple different ways.
Yeah. Mr. Spin, do you have anything?
Yeah, and you don't have to bring in the top. You don't have to bring him as the head of affiliates.
Janitor.
Right? Like, bring people in at a lower level and let the people work up. Let Austin move into that role or keep that role from being interim, and bring other people in and work their way up. You don't bring somebody in who doesn't understand the methodology, who's spoken badly about it without having a reason for it, as the head of affiliates.
Unless they want to bring him in to make some radical change and then sack him as a scapegoat.
Beaver?
Someone that they're not loyal to, someone that they owe nothing to.
Yeah, and by the way, like if they do raise the affiliate fees, like everyone's saying they're going to, that one decision won't be his anyway. There's that decision doesn't even when I worked at CrossFit, like Greg would. That was one where Greg would. A lot of times Greg ran the ship like a fucking strong captain, but that one was like he got a lot of input on that one. Because that one rocks the boat. Every single affiliate owner in the community is gonna have an opinion on that, especially if they don't grandfather in the old ones, which I'm hearing they're not going to. But I don't have any good sources for that, by the way. Mr. Beaver, thoughts on Dave going all in?
Yeah, I agree. I don't really think that bringing him in as like the head of affiliates is probably the best idea. I like the idea of bringing somebody in, maybe 2 or 3 steps down, and letting them work their way up. Actually, like proving themselves, going at like doing his L1, maybe coaching some classes, working at like the HQ affiliate or whatever it is, and like learning the methodology from the ground up first, and then being like, okay, this is adequate. I think you're ready for this position, kind of thing.
But think about all the people who've done seminar staff, or the people who've mentored people who are going for their level 3 or their level 4 or whatever, like affiliate owners who mentor other affiliate owners, and they've all been overlooked for a guy who doesn't have a level 1. You know, it's just
How
odd.
are they
Hey.
not qualified enough to do that?
Let me say 2 things real quick. This is a very interesting point. Craig, for those of you who don't know, Craig Howard was a country manager, and he was told, not by the current regime, but the previous regime, that he needs to close his doors during COVID. And Craig said, fuck you, I'm keeping my doors open. And he kept taking the fines from the county, the city, and the state. And he was told by Rosa's team, hey, you need to close your fucking doors or else we're not going to let you be a country manager anymore. And Craig said, well, I'm keeping my doors open. And they took away his country manager position. Fucking nuts. And Mike Poolboy is saying that's why he should be the affiliate director, because he's shown that he stands by affiliates. That's better than any Harvard MBA. I'll tell you fucking that. Not that it's hard to be better than a Harvard douchebag. I'd also like to say this. This is, I think, the first time I've seen Hiller's launch many torpedoes at the mothership. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen one hit. Would you guys first, let me ask you this question. Are you agreeing that this is all in regards to the videos that Hiller's made around DeCoons? The YouTube and the Instagram? Is that what Dave's responding to?
What's
think
Hitler
it's
saying? We don't believe in coincidences, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spin, what did you say?
And didn't Dave say that he watched it or saw all the news come out when they were all together in Austin?
Yeah.
So, like, where'd that come out? That came out on Hiller. So
Yeah.
were they all sitting there watching Hiller's video in a bedroom somewhere?
Yeah.
Hitler would love that.
But
so
it's interesting
much.
is usually they ignore him, right? And that's usually the best thing to
No.
do if you are the mothership.
No, they
But this
don't.
fucking
They couldn't ignore this one. I think they're aware of it. but
right
they
into the
just
hole.
Let it go by. Yeah.
Yeah. Caleb, is this a right caricature portrayal? This is a Hiller fucking finally launched a torpedo that was a direct hit on the fucking
Yeah, I feel
HQ
like
mothership.
they're having to defend one of their own now. They're like, hey, we made our bed, now we have to lie in it, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, they were chumming the waters with Tia and others, and William and Bill, poor any no repper, Dave and Hippet Steel, but now one fucking made it past the athletes and hit the mothership.
right.
Yeah.
I think they see
and
that
them
he
taking
adds
down
it
their
as a point.
video. Yeah, them taking down their video definitely shows that they were
Well,
rocked
they
by
didn't.
this.
Just to be honest, they didn't take it down. They just to be clear, they made it unlisted so that the
Yeah.
people who got the original newsletter could still see it. It wasn't open to the
They
public.
didn't want the public.
That's an important, right, and that is important distinction. Okay, here we go. I don't really want that. You want to? I'm going to tell you guys something, and I haven't really said this publicly. I think my show is just for the fucking cool kids.
Am I a cool kid?
Kinda, yeah. I don't want to like give anyone like, yeah. I don't want to have anyone on my show that I think my show makes people look good. I think that's all it does. If you come on my show, no matter who you are, you leave here and people are like, oh, I like you more.
Bryce?
And right, well, that would have been fine. That wasn't. That was
you did
Hiller.
your best. In fairness, you
Yeah,
did
that
your
was
best.
Hiller. Yeah.
It wasn't
Thank
for
you.
the lack of trying.
That one wasn't my fault. That one wasn't my doing. So I don't want to bring him on and yeah, I'm not ready to massage. I'm a masseuse. I'm not ready to give him a massage. I don't think I did that to Bryce. I was cool to Bryce. Hiller just fucking Bryce had like
Bryce did that to himself. Hitler
Yeah, he
didn't
had-
do it to him. You didn't do it to him. He did it to himself.
he had 35 loose strings on his sweater, and fucking Hiller pulled them all off until he was naked.
Really, we went from one perspective. We were always low carb, but then kind of really pushing this. I didn't want to have anything to do with it, and I thought it was ridiculous, and I thought it was the wrong way of eating. Several years later, here we are. I found it on my own. I kind of decided at a point to dive into it, to self-educate, and I've had a complete change of heart. Keto for me and fasting for me works really well, and I see the benefits, and I am a big fan, and I think they can benefit a lot of people. So there's an example, actually within the same time frame of Jay's example, of where I've had a change of heart and a change of perspective from something that I thought was really dumb, and actually I did think it was dangerous, to something now that I see as really effective and potentially life-changing for those who use. Same thing could be said happened to him, and the same thing actually did happen to him. So let's just give him a chance, and let's move forward and support him and enable him to do the only way he's going to do that job effectively is if people in the community work with him and support him and give him advice, tell him what our affiliate community should be in constant communication with someone in his role to set him up for success. So feel free to reach out to him. Feel free to give him a chance and show him some support. All right. Thanks for listening to me rant on that. It was obviously something that we had to deal with in the last few weeks.
Hal Roberts, your show's more about the guests. Most of the time, your guests are likable to begin with. Sevan, I think your argument is exactly the reason to get him on. Let's see if we like him more afterwards or not. Here's the thing. I've had probably 20 people on that are world-class pieces of shit that you guys end up loving, and I just have to bite my tongue. I don't come back and be like, let me tell you about this person. Let me tell you about this, what I saw them do one time. And so I'm not I really do think that's why someone sent me a DM the other day and they're like, hey dude, Tia will never come on your show because of this. And I'm thinking to myself, I say this with all humility. Someone let me juxtapose this humility with another word. And I am not humble, but I say this with all humility and peace and love. It is only her loss. It is not my loss if someone doesn't want to come on my podcast. It is only their loss, and I say that with all humility. No one's going to come on here, and it's going to damage their career. Yeah, Tia's missing out. Yeah, it's all on her. Do I want her on? Of course. Do I care? Zero. Does that make sense? Okay, here we go. So anyway, I accept him. Fine, I accept him. Dear Dave, I fully accept this dude, DeCoons. I'll completely leave him alone. I'll give him a chance. I respect the fuck out of you for vouching for him. And yeah, Jay, good luck, buddy. I hope that you kill it. I want you to do the best. I hope the affiliates thrive under your guidance and tutelage. And I hope you get up to speed on the CrossFit culture. It is it's a fucking, there's no pussies here, dude. We weed out all the pussies. They tried to come in. They stormed the castle, the pussies, but we're weeding them out. Mr. Spin, final thoughts before we shift subjects on.
You know when they say that if you're lying, you go into more detail.
Oh, I haven't heard that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, so like if you're lying, you give out way too many details and you kind of over explain. Have you ever heard Dave rant and ramble on for this long on a certain topic?
No, he is a man of few words. That's a good point. He is a man of few words. Yes.
Right. So does it feel like he's trying to say more to make it more convincing that he is behind this guy?
I don't know if that's the case or if he's just fired up about the topic itself.
It's a I don't have the answer to that, but it's a fucking the answer is 100% correct. And even if I did have an answer, to be honest with you, I don't know if I would say it. I part of me never wants to undermine Dave. But I also don't want him, I also, like as a friend of Dave's, I don't want him hurting his own personal stock by having Homeboy's back if Homeboy's a D-bag. You know what I mean? But then again, you could say that about me too. He's had my back and I've fucked all sorts of things up for him. Imagine like he's like, hey, can you guys bring Sevan to do the behind the scenes? And next thing you know, fucking me and Hiller are ass pounding their new affiliate director. I mean, fuck. That's not a good look. So you're not buying it? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Spin? Or you're suspicious?
No, I think there's no way you could go, like I said earlier, he can't come out and say this was a bad hire. I was forced to do it. Rosa pushed it down on us. So he has to make it sound good. And my interpretation is he spoke for so long, which was so far out of context, that he's trying to overcompensate and convince us otherwise.
Why not just not say anything?
I mean, he's kind of gotten himself into. He just reads the comments as they are, and
right, the
to
comments. Okay, good point. Okay, the comments. He doesn't want to duck the comment. Okay, Pedro.
I kind of think maybe I'm dumb, but I kind of think the opposite. I think because he never speaks like this, the fact that he is speaking like this means it holds more weight because he never does it. Like he never talks. He is like I said, he quadrupled down. He's like sextupled down. Like he said the same thing. And
thank God you came back with this. I like this because Spin had me won. Wow, I was starting to sweat. Okay, yeah, okay.
So like he told us he was on the interview panel. That's once. Right. So he said, I vouch for him. He's told us that he alluded to the fact that he's spoken to him about this clip and stuff and that he's changed his mind. That's two. He's given his own detailed life example about something that he disagreed with Greg on and has talked about it in detail. Like that's three. And then there was three others in between the interview and you guys need to give him a chance. He had three of those pleas in the middle of that as well. Like that's about 6 times he said, hey guys, come on, like we get behind him. And like he never does that kind of thing. He usually just says, no, I'm not going to answer that. Or like, you guys just need to trust us and then move on to the next thing. But the fact he's gone on about it in so much means that one, he feels the outcry or the annoyance or whatever from the affiliates and the community, and he feels that it deserves an actual thoughtful response, like a detailed response, and he's given us that. And the other thing I wanted to say is nothing to do with this, but Hal is like half correct when he says that we already knew all the people that come on your show and we liked them beforehand. I disagree with that because I would say maybe 15 to 20 people that I now really love in the CrossFit space I first heard speak with you or first heard say things that they've never said before with you compared to others. But I'll just take your dick out of my mouth now.
So I'm too much of a pussy to really say how I feel because I just want to believe Dave. Mr. Spin is like, this is uncharacteristic. It's got my fucking spidey senses going. Pedro's like, this is uncharacteristic. Wow, Dave must really have this guy's back. And Caleb, Caleb, what do you got for the tiebreaker? Or do you lean towards Pedro or do you lean towards Mr. Spin?
I was on Spin's side until Pedro mentioned that, where he doesn't say any good thing about anybody specifically. He'll just kind of talk in vagaries all the time. But so I agree. I think him saying something at all is telling that he's going to put his effort and time into making sure that Jay is ready for the job and capable to do the job, but also that he's putting some trust in him to be a good fit for the company itself.
Wad Zombie, the big problem with this is there isn't any way for us outside of HQ to keep our finger on the pulse of whether this guy is doing a good job or not. We don't know until it's too late. Really, in my mind, also, I don't have time for that. Maybe we'll do one more show on what the affiliate director should really be doing. Okay. Caleb is a delegate appointed by Sevi. He parrots with Sevi by default. That is not true.
You don't pay attention to the shows very often, do you, Bernie?
That is not cool, Bernie. Jesus criminy. Jesus. Does that one sting a little bit, Caleb?
Yeah, I feel defended.
I
feel like you and I get at odds like regularly.
And Bernie's man. Do you think Bernie's been drinking?
He must be. I mean, it's almost 5 o'clock, so
out of character for him. All right.
And people who were angry were rightfully angry. But I wanted to give a perspective from my position and from my vantage point, where someone I was actually with him when this all popped. I was actually in Austin, Texas at a leadership meeting with him when this all became a thing. So I was able to see it for the first time. I was able to talk to him about it. We talked as a leadership team with him about it. And I do think, I do know that it's not how he felt then is not how he feels now.
Wow. So he's
Okay.
well, that's cool. So at least Dave's not alienating the affiliates, being like, "Fuck you, you guys are being assholes." He's like tying it together and being like, "Hey, whatever you guys felt was appropriate." Thought spin?
How uncomfortable do you think that room was when that came out?
You would learn so much about DeCoons in that 5 minutes. When you like say, "Hey, what's this Hiller thing about?" And then you learn everything you need to know about that man inside those first, especially someone like Dave. Like you learn everything you need to know about them right there.
Do you think that his reaction to that solidified that Dave is backing him? Like the reasoning that Dave
Has to have.
Hey,
about that?
what Spin just said just made me really think something crazy. I thought this before, but it hadn't come out quite like this, I don't think. That means that I'm guessing when that came out, everyone on the affiliate team saw that. And I'm guessing everyone at HQ who saw that made them second guess DeCoons. I'm guessing maybe it even made Dawn second guess DeCoons. It probably like just everyone was like, ooh. And so they have to either figure out at this moment, do we get rid of this guy right now or try to shore it up? And now I am thinking that, like, okay, I mean, who's the most influential person in all of CrossFit? We're looking at him.
We're watching him. Yep.
Yeah. And so he's saying, so that means they're going to try to shore this up. That means they're not going to fire him. They're going to try to shore him up.
Not right away.
Yeah.
No, but I also think that's why Dave's defending him so hard on this. Because he's the only one that could.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, otherwise we put him on the spit roaster. We were going to start turning the pig. I mean, he probably got a few rotations. Hiller spun him around a few times. Oh my goodness.
Next comment.
How happy is Gary Gaines? Probably the old affiliate director. You guys should have kept me.
At Brandon Pastorik 9728. Hi, Dave. Thanks for the shout out. Are you going to be at Legends in December this year? Yes, I will go to Legends. I don't know how many days I'll be there, but I'm going to go to Legends, check them out, to see how they run the event and to show support and to give them feedback and set them up for success for the following year. Also Brandon Pastorik. Another thing, in the future, are you going to have input on the programming for masters, teens, and adapted divisions, or are you going to give the organizer free range? We are going to give them mostly free range, but I think we will work with them and give them guidance and lessons learned and set them up for success with some of our experience as much as they want it. We'll see and reevaluate off of this first year, but the attempt or the intent for the first year is to give them a lot of creative freedom, and I think they'll all do fine with it. But
just so people don't know, the Legends competition he's referencing is an event that's in December that's for masters athletes, and I think it actually starts at 30 years old. Jake Chapman, Sevi, what would Dave have to do for him to lose your trust?
Have not been a SEAL and lied about it.
No, even then I would trust him. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think he could. It would be really hard for him to lose my trust. I've chosen my trust on him. I've chosen that. I'm not like other people where their trust in other people is anchored in those other people. My trust in people is anchored in myself, and it's fucking anchored deep. I know some people aren't even going to understand what I just said, but it would be really fucking hard for him to break my trust. Like if he came over to my house and like stole my car and said he didn't do it, I don't know if it would break my trust. Yeah. Heidi's kind of like more closer to that. It's more, Sevi doesn't believe in that. He trusts everyone. It's kind of like that. Yeah. But I just make sure that I don't know everyone. So everyone that I know, I trust, but I try not to know too many people. Like I try not to let people in. And then once you're on the trust side, I won't ever kick you out. Oh, that sucks. I wish you wouldn't have brought that up. Okay, here we go. Oh, masters. So he's going to let them program.
I heard that, and I also heard that he wants to go see how they run the event. which
And I'm thinking, I
leads
think
me to
that's a lie.
believe-
I don't think Dave wants to go anywhere. He just wants to hang out at the ranch.
No, well, it was more about, so we picked a partner to run an event that CrossFit doesn't know anything about. Like who made the decision to go with Legends and why?
It was kind of 50-50 really, wasn't it?
Who made the decision
you
to
could
go
go
with
with-
Legends? What do you mean? As the one to run? What do you mean?
Yeah, so he's going to Legends
Yeah,
in a month, and he's going to go see how they run the event.
right.
Well, you're pushing off the Masters games experience to the Legends, and you don't know how they run the competition.
Oh,
So
why has he never been to one
why-
before?
It doesn't sound like it.
Oh, and so you think that was a mistake? You think that was like similar to like bringing this guy on board, DeCoons? Like, hey, you never worked. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. I don't.
I'm just wondering how they're making their decisions.
Well, he
Right,
probably, to be honest with you, this pool of people who runs events is so incestuous. Like when I was watching Rogue and I'm looking at the staff running it, I'm like, oh, those are all the people who work at the fucking games. So Legends is probably the same way. They probably half their staff probably works the games. Right?
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
it just kind of had a red flag. Like, what do you mean you don't know how they run it?
Okay. Well,
Didn't you
good
know
point.
that?
Well, yeah, right. Well, so I guess he's going to see it now. Good, but that's a good point. Valid point. Maybe he hasn't ever been to any Masters competitions outside of CrossFit's.
I mean, I don't think he's going to competitions that he doesn't have to go to.
No, right.
They can lean into us as much as we want, as they want, but we will have awareness. We will have some general view of the programming before it's put in play. At CF_Steven. Dave, let me know.
Oh, here's interesting. Joe from Legend said Dave used to show up at their gym a lot when he lived nearby. I have heard amazing things about Legends, and it sounds like they have a fucking pretty amazing. I don't know if board is the right word, but but the people behind the event are very strong. I hear, like, very, very strong, very eminently capable.
And my comment wasn't to say that they're not. It was
Right.
just more
Okay.
about CrossFit's not. How does CrossFit know anything? Or that comment just kind of felt weird that they didn't know.
Don't you
Oh, it's
love Dave's little slips? You know, he said like they can lean into us as much as you want, as much as they want. You know, it's like you mean as much as you want. Like you couldn't give a fuck how much they want to lean into you. You're drawing a line.
Cave Dasher, when is Stacy Tovar OnlyFans dropping? We will be announcing that on tomorrow morning show.
Know about when the bottles go online for sale because I can't make it to Austin for Rogue. So we sold them at Rogue. I think they sold out. I actually didn't check with anyone. Someone told me they sold out. So someone who was there, but pretty soon I will put them online. Just working out the e-com store, finalizing that. At HillerFit, Hiller, Shoot the Club Up is Josh Bridges. Well, that would be interesting.
Do you guys know who Shoot the Club Up? Do you guys know about him?
Is
Oh,
that to be
yeah.
aggressive commenter?
Yeah, I don't think that's Josh Bridges.
It will be funny.
Anybody? Does anyone else think that? Or is that a joke?
There's no way.
I wonder if that's true. I should have asked Josh. I spent a lot of time with Josh. I'll cover that in a minute. At Ben Tilley, 3529. Could the Open go back to 5 weeks?
Oh, and it sounds like Dave's olive oil sold out. So congratulations to Dave on that. Hopefully, I'd like to see some media on the process of it being made. There's so much fucking shenanigans going on in olive oil, and Dave has told me that he's followed the whole fucking process, and he's so proud of it. So hopefully, we'll get some content on that.
If
soon.
only he knew someone that could create some content for him around that.
Yeah.
Weird.
He can't afford
3 weeks
me.
feels like it's over before it started. There's always a repeat, so only leaves 2 new workouts. I don't know if the Open should go back to 5 weeks. 5 weeks feels like it's 5 weeks was a really long, almost burden on the affiliates and those who had to conduct it for their affiliates. I think 3 weeks. 3 weeks is this nice spot for the community. It's the right amount of high level focus and attention can be given to it. So I'm a huge fan of the 3 weeks. It's staying 3 weeks for this year. Also, in years past, when it was 5 weeks, one of the reasons we went to the 3 weeks we look at the data of the engagement. And so obviously week 1 has the most submissions. Every week the submissions dwindle or go down a little. And by 4 and 5, the amount of submissions really trail off. So that alone.
Why is that an argument? I don't get that. First of all, I like 5 weeks, so I'm biased, but who cares if the submissions trail off? How is that a justification for not making it 5 weeks? It's about the fucking games. It's about making the fucking open relevant again. Do any of you think it should be 5 weeks like I do?
I liked having 5 weeks because a lot. I liked having 5 weeks because I don't make it past the open. I'm straight, just an open guy. So I'll just do I liked having 5 weeks of competition, like one workout every week that I could compete with. And that was like all I did because I wasn't going to get any further, but I got my money's worth out of the 5 weeks. So I liked it.
Hey, Mason Mitchell, Sevan likes 5 weeks so much that he's never once done the open. I'm pretty sure that's not true. I'm pretty sure Dave made me sign up like 3 years in a row, just so you know. Or someone could go check in the thing. But who cares? I like covering it for 5 weeks. Oh,
yeah, I mean,
Philip, you have to have to CrossFit to have an opinion on the open.
I think they're kind of, their intent is the quarterfinals is kind of the extension of the open. It's just that 90% of us don't get to do it. And so, I mean, either you do 5 weeks and you get rid of quarterfinals, or you keep it this way. And the 90% of us, or 80%, because the other 10% are still fighting for that 10%, just live with 3 weeks and a limited test.
So do you like 3 weeks? Let's vote. Can we start a poll?
Sure.
Who the fuck cares what Pedro and Spin you think? Let's do a poll. 5 weeks or 3 weeks? What? Go ahead, Spin.
My guess is most are going to like the 3 weeks.
Fuck that. Let me argue this. I'm not talking about for yourself. I'm talking about for I like 5 weeks because I like what it does to the athletes and what it does to the importance of it. And it allows them with more. Is this fair? Would you guys agree with this statement? With more workouts in the open, it allows them to put more pressure on the athletes to do better because you can make it carry more weight because you can get a more balanced test.
Yeah.
That's my argument. Do you like that, Spin? I mean, I'm not saying that you like a reason that doesn't. I'm not trying to convince you that 5 weeks is better. I'm just trying to convince you that if you wanted it to carry more weight, one of the ways to do it would be to make it 5 weeks. You could lean on it.
I think if you went back to, go back to 2017, 2018, where it goes open to in this year's semifinals, I think the 5 weeks is the right thing to do because the open would matter again. And now, could you make it so that there's 2 tracks, right? Your competitive track and the rest of us track, or something of that nature. Or a part B is competitive or something like that. That's an extra for those that want to actually go for it.
How about this? Jamie Latimer, 2 competitions a week for 2 weeks. That's not bad.
But then just do 5 weeks. Like if people have a thing of, it puts too much pressure on the affiliates and like it's too much stress trying to organize it. Like 2 a week is the same problem. Now they just run into each other. So you've like the window for submission closes on a Wednesday and the window for submission opens on a Thursday or whatever. Like it's too it doesn't fix the problem that I think they're trying to fix by making it 3 weeks. I reckon that's why they're saying 3 weeks really, is because it puts too much pressure on the affiliates if it's 5 weeks to kind of map out their floor space and all that shit. But the other argument is it gives the affiliate something to work around for 5 weeks, and it gives like a community thing for 5 weeks that they don't really have to put any planning behind because the idea is there. They just have to like make a thing around it. So it's kind of like an alley-oop.
Pedro, Blade says faux weeks. Now let me that faux is a urban American vernacular for 4.
Oh,
Pedro.
right. Okay.
Just so you know. Okay. I don't want you to feel left out. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to the poll. Keep voting. Here we go.
Supports this notion of probably a 3 week open. is a better expression of the open. Last week, as I mentioned, I was in Austin at leadership meetings. During those, we went to Jeremy Thiel's gym, did a workout there. And then the next day we went to another CrossFit gym where we did we worked out at 2 gyms. Hold on, I'm drawing a blank on the name. Let me try to pull it up. The second gym
I have to leave in 5
was
minutes.
Kawi CrossFit. That's right. So we went to Kawi, Kawi CrossFit the second day. The first day we went to Central, CrossFit Central, and the second day we went to Kawi CrossFit. On the first day we had rope climbs, and I haven't climbed a rope in a while. It's been several months, 4 or 5 months. And the last time I climbed, it actually was at Roots, Nicole Christensen's gym. I thought I did just okay. I didn't feel like it was a really good rope climb session for me, but I still thought I did just okay. Well, this time we had rope climbs again, and it was legless rope climbs, and I felt really good on the rope climbs. And from a seated position, we did like 5 rounds of legless rope climbs. I was doing them on a 12-foot rope because that's what's in a rig, and then I moved over to a 15-foot rope and did it there and had no issue with it. So I felt like my rope climbing is somewhere it hasn't been in a really long time. I think for 2 reasons. One, because I am doing so much keto and fasting, I'm leaner and lighter than I have been in a while right now. And 2, when I'm doing calls and these things, I'm always manipulating these grip strength things. And so between the combination of just inadvertently training my grip via these things and being a little leaner, and because I do so much keto and fasting right now, it translated to some good success on the rope. So then after I got back from that trip and came home this weekend, I did another rope climb workout, running and legless rope climb. And again, felt really great, felt good on that. So that's something I'm going to try to keep up on, because rope climbing is something near and dear to me, goes all the way back to my Navy days. And there's been points where I have not been good at rope climbs. And whenever I'm not good at rope climbs, I don't feel good about it. So that I'm good at them right now, I'm going to try to maintain that and keep that up. Final day there in Austin, I went to the first night of
Thoughts on Dave's rope climbing? Anyone?
Who gives a fuck? First workout of the open, running and rope climbs. Right?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, regional throwback.
Wow. I would do wall walks and rope climbs first workout. Mr. Spin, any thoughts on his gripper strength and anything?
No, good to know. Nice little tip if you can't do rope climbs. Just squeeze those little manipulator things.
Jerk off instead. Great.
Mr. Beaver.
Cool.
The Rogue Invitational. It was really cool. First time I've ever been there. Spent a lot of time with Bill Henninger. He showed me around. I watched the first event. Spent some time with Josh Bridges. We talked a lot about the event and the programming. He helped program it. And then that evening went to a little mixer for the Legends athletes. So the athletes who are old school athletes who compete through the weekend in the Legends division. So it was a really good time. Hung out with a lot of people. Met a lot of fans of CrossFit. Saw a lot of athletes I haven't seen in a long time, to include Miko Salo. Haven't seen him in like over a decade, I think. And so really enjoyed the event. Wasn't able to stay for the whole weekend. Left the next morning. Flew back Friday morning. But it looks like they had a really successful competition, even with all of the rain and all of the obstacles they had to deal with. So congrats to Bill and Katie on a great event. And
hey, that's uncharacteristic of Dave too. To go to an event, weird, very weird, and then also to give love to it like that. Like usually he just stays quiet.
Like you wouldn't say anything at all about it?
Nothing, dude. Nothing. He don't give a well, but I did go to that event. I did also go to that event with him in Northern California. Maybe he's just a changed man. A few months ago, he called me and said, hey, come up to this event with me in Northern California. We drive 3 hours up there, stayed for 2 hours, and drove back for 3 hours. That was weird.
Wow. That's a lot of effort.
That's more weird than going to Rogue. He was already in there in Austin for the leadership meetings. So
Fuck, I didn't realize Ramler was a monkey.
looking forward to some of the other events coming up that I might pop into, like Legends, for example, that one in December in Arizona. So that's it for comments. Oh, and Travis, last thing, Travis Bagent was just here, and he had something he wanted to show me, but he was just at his son's game last night in LA. So he brought me a signed jersey from Tyson Bagent. So pretty cool. Tyson, it was cool watching him. He's a really good quarterback. I mean, he has, obviously it's the second game ever in the NFL, but he looks really poised out there, and I'm excited to watch his journey and to see where he goes with all of this. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, or drop comments into the comment section, and I'll address them next week.
Any final thoughts? By the way, thank you so much, Dave. Fucking overall, I want to say thank you very much. Fucking awesome that you do these weekend reviews. It is the most powerful thing coming out of HQ. Thoughts, Mr. Spin?
completely agree. I mean, he is right now the face of really CrossFit.
That's
and
the
what he
press
provides
release.
as answers. Yeah, but you don't see Don, you don't see anybody else, you only see Dave. And I do respect that he does go through the questions and kind of just reads them and doesn't, he kind of just reads them on the fly and then answers versus picking through them. So I do respect that piece of it.
And like Apple just released a bunch of new computers and it took them fucking an hour to say fucking nothing. There's no corporate. I feel like for the most part, there's no corporate bullshit from Dave. It's like, hey, like, okay, like, he may have pivoted in that argument, but he wasn't bullshitting you. You know what I mean? Like he was still at least like, hey, let me tell you this story. Like he talks about stuff you can touch. You know what I mean? It's not bullshit talk. It's not fluff talk. I don't think.
Except for the DeCoons rant, but that's another
Which part
topic.
of the? Tell me which part of the DeCoons rant? They give him a chance. Well, he had a story that kind of.
Yeah, I think he just. I've never heard him talk 5 minutes for one topic in that kind of rambling.
But what I mean is, it wasn't corporate bullshit. It wasn't like, he has a fantastic. Well, there were maybe a few things like this, but it wasn't like he has a fantastic mind that's able to work through obstacles and problems. And I've noticed in the corporate setting when we're sitting at the desk, he's very attentive with a wise mind and his agility with difficult tasks. Like he did say he had a lot of, the only thing that I heard like that is when he said he had a lot of life experiences. Like, well, tell me what they are. I want to be able to touch them. Tell me what they fucking are. You know what I mean?
I
guess he said
examples too.
Yeah, I guess he said he went to school. Okay, I just don't have put any validity on that. But what I mean by he gave you stuff to touch on, he talked about a relationship to how he's accepting DeCoons because he also has gone through a journey, and then he told us what that journey was. So in that's the respect that I mean, that it was actually something I could touch. Sevan, it was Sevi. It actually was support him. And if you don't, you're part of cancel culture. Fair. Yeah, I heard that too. Okay, I heard that too. Okay, listen. Anything else you guys want to say?
I love you guys. That's it.
Listen, this is going to happen really quick here. And I'm going to do this for a lot of shows. This Slack block right here is one of the tools that Tyson Bagent uses. The Slack block that he swears changed his game, gave him that extra 1%. That basically you can only throw a ball as hard as you can stay balanced. You can only swing a bat as hard as you can stay balanced. That balance is such an important component. Jocko for CEO. How about Jocko suck this dick? What I'm going to say about the Slack block is this. Speaking of tools, by the way, Jesus Christ, I hope you're joking, Jake. I can't wait.
He makes a really shit energy drink, though.
I can't wait to make an energy drink. Oh shit. Tyson doesn't need a Slack block. He needs an actual blocking. Now listen, here's the deal.
Facts.
You, the 5th affiliate owner who's in the chat, who writes the name of their CrossFit gym in the chat right now, I'm going to send one of these two. So just write the name of your CrossFit gym down in here. Go ahead.
Oh, and if you're the 5th,
and if you're the 5th owner of that CrossFit gym, to write your name in this chat, you get the. Should I make it the 5th or the first one? Because now people are just going to wait for 4 others to pop up.
Yeah.
CrossFit Mike Sauer. Don't be. Oh, there it is. Are you the owner of CrossFit Vacaville, Philip Kelly? Are you the owner?
3.
No, CrossFit Mike Sauer doesn't count. Those don't count. Let me count them. CrossFit. You got it. No, listen. Start over. God damn it! You have to be the fucking owner. Oh, fine. I'm giving it to Joe Niels. That's
Perfect.
it. Fuck you guys. There it is. Joe, text me your address. I'm going to be giving away a bunch of these.
What is it? The blue thing is like malleable, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, squishy.
Yeah. There you go. Only affiliates can win this. Jackasses.
Congrats, Joe.
Timo, are you the owner of that gym? Are you the owner of CF CrossFit Elmshorn? Fuck, my CD was skipping. Are you the owner of that? You got to be the owner. Is he? Is Timo the owner of that? Timo, are you the owner?
Yes.
He is? Okay, Timo, DM me your address too. And if I don't respond, yes, Germany, fine. Keep DMing me. I'm going to send you one too. So DM me like until I see it, because you're going to be in my, you're going to be in my guest box. DM Caleb. No one fucking DMs him. DM Caleb.
Perfect.
Your fucking address, and I'll send you one too.
Caleb ordered that one from the new store, not the US.
If you do, no, just send me his address. I got a ton of them in my garage. I'll mail it to him. Steve Flores, if you really do think I had a stroke, please text my wife and let her know so she can get me treatment. All right. Barbell Spin, the fastest, most accurate, best place to get your information regarding all things CrossFit. Caleb Beaver from the Shadican. Go to the YouTube to learn everything you need to know about the Shadican. And Coffee Pods and Wads, the only podcast that's deep and lets its guests talk in the CrossFit space. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.